What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today is Friday, October 31st. We're 43 days out from the Dallas BMW Marathon, where I'm setting the goal to run a sub 2 hour and 50-minute marathon. This morning I have a huge practice marathon session. So 19 miles, a lot of those miles are gonna be at marathon pace. And it's crucial in workouts like these to practice your race day nutrition strategy. So that's what I did this morning. As soon as I woke up, had 16 fluid ounces of water, and then I mixed up 1 packet of Element, get the electrolytes in the body, so 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Then I had some coffee, 2/3 cup of oatmeal, 1 banana, some agave in there, almond butter, and honey. And I try to have that about 3 hours before the race starts. So I had that at about 6 a.m. I'm gonna start the run at about 9 a.m. and then about an hour and a half before the race, I'm gonna mix up 2 scoops of Raw Nutrition's Endurance Fuel. This is gonna give me another 50 grams of carbohydrates and 600 milligrams sodium. I'm gonna try to consume this and have this done about 45 minutes out before the race. That allows me to use the bathroom, do everything I need to do before the race. Seconds matter, minutes matter. So if you're having to stop and use the bathroom and it takes 30 seconds to a minute, that could be the minute that keeps you from running the time that you're trying to run. Finish up this drink and welcome to another video in the series. Just got done warming up, about to get into this 19-mile workout. Drove to a place that's pretty flat. Actually, one side of this loop is more of an incline and the other side's a decline. This is the same place that I did my last brick workout for the Ironman 70.3. But as far as nutrition goes, so the first 5 miles, I'm gonna take a Morton 160. And then when I get to 10 miles, I'm gonna take another Morton 160. And then when I get to 15, I'm gonna take a Morton 100. So 160 is a little bit more. It's got 40 grams of carbs, so it's a little bit more for your body to process, but I've done it before in training and I think I'm pretty much fine. Definitely gonna be tough this morning. Definitely gonna get the lungs burning. It is 8:56. About to go ahead and get into this warm up. Mile number 1, 7:25. Mile 2, 7:44. My watch didn't show me, but mile 4 was like a 7:40. Now we're into about 6:40 pace for 4 miles. I was on 6:40 pace for 4.5 miles. So in between 6:30 and 6:50, it's kind of the range. Mile 5 is a 6:42. Trying to maintain this because I never ran this fast for this amount of time, so not try to push too hard. Also, it's time for gel number 1. Mile 6, 6:44. Mile 7, 6:48. Mile 8 is a 6:45. Half mile left before I go into marathon pace. It's gonna be rough. It didn't show me mile 9, mile 10, 6:34. Also, taking another Morton 160. I can definitely feel the difference. This side being slightly declined versus the other side being slightly inclined. Mile 11, 6:37. Mile 13, I think 6:37. I just had to take about a minute break. I had a major side stitch. Still kind of have it. I had one earlier in the run that I just ran with. I don't got too bad. That's the realities of training. It's not always gonna be perfect. You know, what matters is finishing the workout. Like, doesn't matter if you get stopped, just complete the workout. 6 miles left at this marathon pace. Whatever mile that was, I'll put it up on the screen. 6:48, but I did pause my watch for that 1 minute little break. I knew the rest unbroken. I haven't stopped my watch any other time in this run. That one was pretty slow, 6:54. Side stitch is killing me. I'm gonna go a different route for these last 4 miles. Also, my left hip is killing me. It's been hurting for about 2 weeks.
and it slowly started getting better, and it would start hurting like deeper into the workouts over time, and on harder workouts like this, started hurting a lot sooner. 6:46. That mile was a 6:47. Whatever mile that was, 6:36. However, all of it was going downhill. That mile was a 6:45. 9.5 miles complete. Got 1 mile cool down. I don't know what that cool down was. It was like around 8 minutes and 40 something seconds. I'll put it up on the screen, but I'll talk about the stats and get my thoughts on the training session and the workout when we get back to the apartment.
So it was 19 miles, supposed to be a race practice run. First 4 miles were a warm-up, so conversational pace, you call this zone 2. I ended up running it at a 7:39, and I was actually feeling really good. And then I went into my second block, which was 4.5 miles, and that was supposed to be average 6:40 pace. I ended up averaging 6:45 pace, which is still within the range. So even going from that warm-up to the 4.5 miles at 6:40 pace, that was still pretty hard, but it wasn't super hard. But then going into the main block, which was 9.5 miles at a 6:30-ish pace, which I think the range was actually like 6:25 to 6:45. I ended up averaging on that a 6:44 average minute per mile pace. So I was barely within the range. But like I said, probably I'd say 4.5 miles into that 9.5 mile segment, my hip was giving me trouble and it started messing up with my stride. So past 2 weeks, I've been having issues with my left hip, and my easy runs, it really hasn't given me too much of a problem until the end of the run, and it hasn't really affected it. On these harder workouts, I can notice it a lot more. I don't know right now. I'm just trying to focus on recovery. But anyways, I started messing up my stride, and then I got a massive side stitch in my right side. And usually that's from being deconditioned. It can also do with diet, but usually it's deconditioning so you're not in the shape that you need to be in to run that pace, which I'm not in this shape to run the pace that I was running today, and it showed. With that said, those last couple of miles, I ended up having to stop every like quarter mile, half mile, and then take a 30-second to a minute and then finish out that mile at that pace. I decided to do that because if I would have just kept on running, my watch would have kept on just yelling at me, telling me I'm not in the zone that I need to be in or the pace that I need to be in. The important thing was that we finished the workout. I had a 1 mile cool down at an 8:38 minute per mile pace. At that point, I was like almost hobbling with my leg, but yeah, it'll probably be hurting tomorrow after the adrenaline wears off. This is the thing that is important to consider with workouts like this. And today, I knew going into this workout when I looked at it earlier this week, it is the hardest workout I've ever done. I looked at it and it scared me because those paces I've never ran before, and I've never ran them for that long. Maybe I've done like a mile or 2 mile segment at that pace, but not 9.5 miles. And that was, especially after the 8.5 miles that I already did, you don't know where you're at, and you're never gonna improve if you don't test yourself, if you don't do workouts like this that scare you. You're not always gonna have a successful workout. Some of those workouts you're gonna fail on, and failing on those workouts is more important than not doing those workouts at all. And even if I don't hit the sub 2 hour and 50 minute marathon at Dallas, I am still going to train for the sub 2 hour and 50 minute marathon. So this will not be the last marathon or anything like that. The goal is to qualify for Boston. Gonna finish up the smoothie, go take a shower, make some food, show you what we're doing. Last night we made spaghetti, just having that for leftovers. Good carb load for today's big 19 mile workout. What we use in here is venison, mushrooms, and then usually just add rose, tomato, basil sauce, and then the noodles obviously. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this. It's already basically 12:35. Opted to go for a lunch meal instead of having breakfast like I normally would. But that 19 miles really did take it out of me. I may take a nap after this. So I think this is gonna be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.